to the kitchen. Try to be there by 12:30 because if nobody's there by 12:30, she goes home. So try to show up there by 12:30 and you can have it. It's absolutely free. It's a class. It lasts about 45 minutes or so and just goes over the basic beliefs of science of mind. Last but not least, we have another wonderful speaker coming to Seaside. You might know him from Oprah's Super Soul Sundays, so you might have heard of him. But he is going to be here on April the 10th, and Marv has a video for us.
There is a power in your being. There is a truth in your heart. There is a light within you that is more brilliant than you will ever know. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter what the world says. It doesn't matter what your Instagram feed says. It doesn't matter what anyone says, because who you are is beyond your ability to even comprehend. You are pure being, pure potential, and pure awareness. This is the truth about you.
Panache will be here Friday night, April 10th. Yes. Tickets are available today in the family room. We are going to be having the VIP event, and we'll also be having general admission. General admission is just $45, and one of the things that's really great about this event is this is Panache's new book. It just came out, so $25 value. There is one included with every ticket purchase. So you get the book for $45 and you get to come in and hear Panache speak. So that is Friday, April the 10th. Go ahead and buy your tickets today, or you can go online and buy them there. But what I'd like to ask you to do now is to please stand and greet your neighbor, and please remain standing for the congregational song.
Our congregational song. It's one that we know. We've done it for a long time. Good old standard. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Come on, Bob. Give it up for Bob. Max, come on, play that Boys and Dorford. Seaside band. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. God, one more time. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Very nice, Seaside. Yeah.
I'm wearing a couple different hats today, so here I am. Dr. Christian is skiing. He's off skiing, enjoying a well-deserved vacation, a little break. So today we have Reverend Brian Anderson speaking for us. So we'll have Reverend Brian in just a little bit. So I just want to welcome you. I just want to welcome you and tell you that I'm so grateful that you're here. We are all grateful you're here. I know you have a lot of choices on a Sunday morning, a lot of things to do. So grateful that you chose to be with us this morning. What I'd like to do before we start is I'd like to introduce one of our practitioners to anchor us in prayer. This is a practitioner that has been a practitioner for 23 years. She recently was given the honor of being practitioner emeritus, becoming practitioner emeritus, which is an honor that's given to practitioners that serve for 20 years or more. So she recently received that honor. Practitioner Kathleen Lees.
Please join me for a moment of silence. I am so tremendously grateful for this beautiful space to come to experience my joy and my power, and to be reinvigorated and reminded of who I am. And to know no matter what else is happening in my life or in the outside world, I know that this peaceful place is filled with loving hearts, and it is a place that I can come to, and I know that I help create a space that others can come to. So I'm tremendously grateful for Reverend Anderson here today to deliver a message and make you laugh, because laugh is the portal to the soul as well as music. So I'm grateful for all of the people that make this a joyous, welcoming, joy-filled space for all of us to come together and to grow and to enhance our lives as we go out into the world and share the spirit of who we are. Thank you.
Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Wonderful Spirit.
As we just let that soak in. Thank you, Rebecca, for anchoring us and opening our hearts so beautifully. Thank you, Kathleen, for your prayer. Thank you for rooting us and grounding us this time. I want to welcome each and every one of you here, but I especially want to welcome anybody who's here for the first time. If it is your first time here, please know that we especially welcome you. We honor all paths to God. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. We have a visitor's package or a first-time visitor's package for you. If you're interested, it's at the table through the glass doors in our social hall. Pick one up, check it out, read a little bit about who we are. There's a CD from Dr. Christian talking about our basic beliefs and some coupons and things for the bookstore and a muffin, I think. But mostly, stay and have some coffee or tea with us. Stay afterwards so we can get to know you. We'd really love for you to get to know us and see if this is a match for you, if it is what you're looking for. And again, welcome. Reverend Brian today is speaking about passion, grace, and ease. Passion, grace, and ease. And I'm going to be reading from Panash's book. And the chapter called Possibility. In 1957, a monastery in Thailand was being relocated. A group of monks were charged with moving a giant clay Buddha. This assignment required meticulous care and attention. As they were preparing to move it, one of them noticed a crack in the clay. Concerned about damaging it further, they decided to wait a day before continuing. Later, a single monk came to do a closer inspection with the help of a flashlight. To his amazement, he noticed a sliver of pure gold glinting in the crack. Taking a hammer and chisel, he carefully began tapping, not sure what he would find. After hours and hours of work, as the old clay crumbled away, the true beauty and original integrity of the Buddha was revealed. Standing before the monk was a solid gold statue. Its true glory had been there all along, finally revealed by a crack in its protective layer. The whole process of revelation was facilitated by grace. Grace powers revelation. Grace is the sacred energy that creates expansion and the possibility of recognition of your essential self. There is grace in every situation. It shows up in countless forms. Grace especially loves synchronicity. The monks in the monastery experienced grace in the crack that day. Indeed, for divine consciousness, the overarching energy within which all life is unfolding to impact you, there has to be a crack in the shell, so that the divine essence that dwells at your core can emerge. And so it is.
That's a beautiful start. Ooh, I love that. Yes. Thank you, Rev Deb. Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to introduce our guest artists. And this morning, we have a brand new guest artist. He has never been here before, but I'm so glad he's here. I'm so glad he agreed to be here with us. We actually are recent friends. We've only had a chance to work together a couple times, but from the moment we met and hung out, we've just had instant connection, and I just knew he was going to be a good fit for Seaside. He performs around town, and he actually has a new album coming out this year, and so you can check out where he's performing and get updates on that on his website, which is joshuataylormusic.com. Without further ado, let's give a warm Seaside welcome to Joshua Taylor.
Hey, y'all.
Whatever gives you contact high, whatever keeps you busy, baby, will never leave you satisfied. Whatever keeps you occupied, whatever gives you contact high, whatever keeps you busy, baby, will never find. Oh,
Thank you, Josh. Pretty good, huh? Doesn't Rebecca find us good ones? Yeah. Great to have you. Oh, it's my honor to just take a minute to introduce our speaker. Most of you know him. We've been honored by Reverend Brian being here with us on Sundays. But some of you may not know that he was a senior minister along with his wife, Reverend Dr. Sheila, of the Vista Center for Spiritual Living for 35 years. Yes, yes. I calculated it, and it was my very first experience going to a religious science church was the Vista Church. I went there for a friend's wedding. It was 29 years ago. And see, look what happened. I was very intrigued by what they were doing there, what they were talking about. So please help me give a big Seaside welcome to Reverend Brian Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good morning. Would you stick that title up there for me, Marv, just in case I forget what I'm supposed to be speaking about? Well, the title is Passion, Grace, and Ease. The things that you desire in your life need your energy to materialize them. If you want a great relationship, it needs your energy. It needs your action. If you want financial health, you need energy and action. If you want physical health, emotional health, energy and action. And passion, grace, and ease will always take you there. And that's what it's about tomorrow. So, tomorrow? Tomorrow. Never mind. So, I want you to greet somebody this morning, the person next to you, and say, good morning, I am spiritually connected with you. Good morning, I am spiritually connected with you. Absolutely. Now, the first thing to do is give up this belief that if I'm really hard on myself, it means I'm a really good person. If I'm really struggling, let me tell you about my problems, and I'm really a good person. If I'm really broke, I'm really a good person. No, you're really a God person. The word God comes from the word good, which means you are God. You know, the great teacher Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. So if you're a good person and a God person, you want to be healthy so you can help other people. You want to have finances so you can give and receive and make the world a better place, and relationships and all like that. Now, for 35 years, I used the Bible every Sunday. I like this book. Actually, when you read it without a guilt trip, it is a great revelation on personal growth. If I was on an island with just two books, I'd take The Science of Mind or this thing called You by Ernest Holmes and the Bible. Now I'm going to read from you. I'm familiar with the Bible, and I'm familiar with the passages. So this morning, I'm going to read from the book of Timothy. I call him Tim. We have a personal relationship. Here's what Tim says in 2 Timothy. Stir up the gift of God that is within you. Stir it up. Now, people say, why am I here? You're here for three reasons. To discover, to develop, and to deliver the gift of God that is within you. And if you're doing it now, it means you do it more and more all the time. New opportunities, new possibilities keep coming up, and you keep doing that, absolutely. Then it goes on in the verse here to say this. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. Power and love and a sound mind. When you're so enthused and inspired about what you're doing that you forget to be frightened, you're coming from your passion. Passion is beyond belief. Passion is where you're just an automatic. You're just on spirit. It's a happening place where you're at when you're feeling. Am I making you sense so far? There was about passion. There was a woman one time, an elderly woman. She lived all by herself. She had this little house, and she was, she had a few chickens in the yard, a white picket fence, and little garden, and she loved life. She would, every morning she'd go out and say, God, thank you for this wonderful life. Thank you for the flowers. Thank you. If it's raining, thank you for the rain. If she can't see anything, thank you for the fog. Thank you for always up, always full of passion, power, and in real gratitude and passion and love. And there was an atheist, an old crotchety atheist that lived next door, and every time she'd come out and do her morning prayers, he'd say, there is no God, you crazy bat. We probably all got here by a piece of green slime that evolved. There is no God. There is no God. She'd just go on praying. Well, one day, things were tough, and she was out of food, and she went out and she prayed, and she said, Dear God, I know you hear me all the time. I know I love your passion inside of me. I love your grace. I love the ease inside of me that you provide through me. And I'm out of groceries. And if you could see your way, Lord, I'd love to have you get some groceries from me. Now, Mr. Geezer next door is listening to all this, right? So he figures, I'm going to really have some fun with her. So while she goes to bed that night, he had bought a wonderful big bag of groceries. And he sneaks over during the night and sets them on her porch, and she comes out in the morning. He hid in the bushes just to laugh at her, right? She comes out in the morning. She's, oh, thank you, God. Thank you for the groceries, and thank you for the devil himself delivering them. Let me tell you, you're liable to get some devils and drags around you, so you got to, never mind, I'm going to read something. Now, let me say this. The problem in your life right now, it's not the problem. It's not the problem. If it's about relationship, if it's about health, it's about anything. If it's about personal self-expression, it's not the problem. The way that you relate to the problem is the problem. How are you relating to the problem? Is it a possibility or a problem? Your word is so powerful, if you say it's a problem, believe me, it's going to be a problem. And it ain't going to be fun because most problems are not fun. Then again, you can say this is a possibility. There's something greater in here, something better in here, something more wonderful in my life, something that produces more aliveness. I mean, we're here to live and be alive and be joyful and have our way and have life be good. It behaves in this way. Jack Canfield wrote a wonderful book one time, and it was about instant success. And here's what he says. The way to succeed in every area of your life depends on your cooperating with yourself, your inner design, which is God-given and God-powered. Some people go around feeling apathy and boredom and cynicism. You know why that is? Because if they go around feeling apathy, boredom, and cynicism, they don't have to take any action. They don't have to take any action. You know, people don't want to take risks sometimes. I have this acronym that I made up for risk. Risk. Release. Infinite. Spirit knows. Infinite spirit. I don't know what to do up here, but Spirit through me knows what to do and uses me to do it for sure. Then Jack goes on to say this. Your God-given inner design takes I can and moves you to I am. Moves you to I am. Your belief in yourself is your most important strength. But the thing that motivates that belief and moves you to where you're going is your passion and your grace and your ease. Absolutely. Am I making sense to you? Thank you, Jesus. Now, Dr. Ernest Holmes put it this way. Check this out. He said this in the Science of Mind magazine. Talk to yourself, not the world. There is no one else to talk to but yourself, for all experience takes place within you. To the extent that you're not saying nice things about yourself, you're not going to have a nice life. And you're going to give other people's meanings and beliefs more credence than you do. To have your life be meaningful, if somebody believes you and loves you and endorses you, believe it. If they're not, know that they got some stuff to handle. And that's just the way it is. About meaning and purpose. I was born in Ireland, one of 10 Irish Catholic kids. My mother said if she ever discovered what was causing them, she would have quit. But anyway, and so as a little kid, like 6 years old, we had this place in Cross Haven, this little kind of a little house, a little bungalow, and we'd go there every summer. And when I was 5 years old, it was right on the ocean. I saw this tide pool, and I was just drawn. My passion was drawn to the tide pool. And I looked, and I knew as a kid, 5 years old, if I hold my head under that water, I'm going to be able to see. So I put my head down, and my eyes are blurry because of the salt, blurry. Finally, my eyes equalized the salt in my eyes, and I saw a fish, and I thought, I have been and I'm born in heaven. This place is totally heaven. I've been a diver since I've been 15 years old. Free diver and dive, some people say this place is a dive. Well, absolutely, the place I dive is a dive that's a real dive. Now, true story. About a month and a half ago, I've got a little inflatable dinghy, 10.5 foot long. I go out there solo dive and dive by myself a lot, and I know how to take care of myself, and I don't dive really deep. So I go to my usual spot, and I've got my spear gun with me on a lanyard hanging there, and I'm going to shoot a calico bass because nobody makes calico bass like Sheila, and they're just any go like this if you've ever had a calico kelp bass. Aren't they delicious? They're absolutely wonderful. So I started looking around for calico bass, and all of a sudden I see these whole tuna with their, just kind of the meat taken off and just the tail and just the head, and there was a fishing boat throwing over these whole tuna, and so I thought, oh, they're parked kind of close to my dinghy, but you know what? I bet it'll bring the bass around. So I start sneaking up on these, and I'm just about get there where I'm going to take the calico bass, and dun 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 dun. Oh, I'm going, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, it's a great white. And I'm terrified. I mean, of all the fides, I'm terrified. And so I thought, okay, stop and think. So I want to stay low because if I shot for the surface, sharks like to watch things on the way up, and they can't really see straight down. So stay on the bottom and get back to the boat. And I've got my spear gun cocked, right? It's ready to shoot and to get the calico bass. Now it starts swimming around me, gets closer and closer, and says, slow down, heart, slow down. Now, there are two kinds of fear. There's illusionary fear, that's to protect your mind and your emotions, and there's instinctual fear. So I'm in instinctual fear. I want to protect my body. I want to be here the next day, right? Anyway, so I said, okay. So breathe, be still and breathe. So I started slowly moving towards the boat, and this shark starts getting closer and closer. Then it hunches its back. And when a great white hunches its back, it says, you're in my territory, and I'm going to get you, or else I'm really hungry, and you look like a lunch. And then its pectoral fins went down like that, and it started getting closer and closer and closer. And it's only about 5 foot from me, and it's huge. It's about 12.5 foot long. I go, I weigh about 145. Oh boy, that'd make a good meal. Anyway, so I look at it, and it swam right above me and go bang, and I shot it, but the spear didn't go quite in enough to take my gun, It just shocked him and went in a little bit, and then it swam away really fast. And then I'm going, okay, now I think I'm about almost due east, and I looked at my compass. I got to get near that boat because I don't want to be swimming a long way because it's still in the area, and I knew it. So I started swimming, and be still. Brian, you can handle this. Brian, you've handled everything that you thought would kill you so far. Come on, you can handle it. And I'm talking to myself, absolutely, to keep my mind off that animal, that fish. So I get to where I think the boat is. I come to the top, and on my way to the top, it circled me one more time, but from a distance. I could tell it was just watching me and observing me. I get to the top. I'm only about from here to the exit side of the boat, and I swim to the boat very, very slowly, just like this, not like a scared seal, but like a diver. And so I get to the boat. Now I'm on, here's the inflatables like this. It's like a big tube, And so I take one weight off my, put the other one, I've got about 28 pounds of weight to get off me, and then I take my weight belt, put it over there, and then I put the lanyard and connected VC, the buoyancy compensator of the boat, and then I slithered onto the boat. And I got to the boat. You talk about passion. I was just like, here I am alone in the sea. Matey, there ain't no shark that can get me. I got my spirit gun and I ship it. Hey, hey, ho, ha, ha, ha. And I'm going like, now, if somebody would have come by in a boat, they probably would have sought medical attention for me. You ever so much joy you go crazy? Like when you're with your girlfriends, you can be yourself. When you got people that love you that aren't going to... Anyway, it was absolutely wonderful. So that's passion. Passion is who you are. Do the thing you love. Do the thing you love, no matter... most people don't... How many of you are working at the occupations you train for in here? About 20% of you, right? You all found something else. You followed your passion, or maybe not. Maybe you found it right away. You could find it right away. I had a friend who wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to be a doctor. He looked for wounded kids ever since he was a little kid. Bandage him up. Now, grace, please hear me. Grace is unearned love by Spirit. You don't have to earn grace. It's just something in your treatments, in your spiritual mind treatment, all you need to do is open up. The grace of God is given freely. The grace of God, there's a whole bunch of stuff about grace. My grace is sufficient for all kinds of wonderful stuff about grace. And grace gives you a balance and a sort of an easy ride as far as what you're doing in life when you're going for your dreams or even pursuing them as you are now. In 2 Corinthians it says this, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Your greatest strength is the opposite of your greatest weakness. When I accept my greatest weakness, I can be really strong. My greatest weakness is I don't want to show that I'm vulnerable. I can fight sharks. I don't want to show that I hurt inside. I don't want to show that sometimes I just see people suffering and I suffer along with them. I don't want to show that. I don't want to be vulnerable. I'm a guy, I'm a man, so I don't be vulnerable. That's my greatest weakness. My greatest strength is when I'm just honest about who I am, be vulnerable if you get what I'm saying here? Just be like I am. Be true to, if you live a life that's like a substitute for the real you, that's a lot of waste of time, isn't it? Absolutely, just being open and vulnerable. Sri Shimnoy, he's an Indian teacher, said this, spiritual teacher. If you depend upon God's grace, there's no such thing as impossible. To offer no resistance to life is to be in a state of grace. No resistance. It is the way it is, and it is the way it is not. And I'm going to trust that the way it is not, if it's not the way I want it, it'll be like I want it if I see it as a possibility and trust something greater than I am, greater than you are. It's in every one of us, the ultimate power in the universe. I mean, you're eternal. Absolutely. Just wonderful what he says. I wrote this for myself. To offer no resistance to life is to be in a state of grace where we stop trying to change people in order to get their love. How about if you just be in a state of grace, take them as they are. They're not going to change if you try to change them anyway. They're just going to try to control you by not changing in your face. Absolutely. John Newton, who wrote the song, remember, Amazing Grace, how sweet thou art, that saved a wretch like me. I once was blind, but now I see. At the end of it, he says this, when we've been here 10,000 years, get that, 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we'll have no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. And here's what he said. Newton was a slave trader, went to work with his dad, who was a captain on a slave ship when he was 11 years old. He was in a lot of storms. One night, and this is why he wrote the song, the hymn, Amazing Grace, what became the hymn. Something happened, And he had a boatload of slaves. And something happened, and he said, you know, to himself, I am equal to all men and women. And all men and women are equal to me. There's no superior, no inferior. I'm going to spend the rest of my life freeing slaves. I'm never going to captain another slave ship in my life. Absolutely. And became a minister. And became, his songs, that Amazing Grace is sung all over the place. Absolutely. Here's what John Newton said. I'm not what I ought to be. I'm not what I want to be. I'm not what I hope to be. But by the grace of God, I am not what I was. You'll never be free of a problem as long as you're blaming yourself for that problem. When I was about 15 and a half, my mother was dying in the hospital. She was the Queen of Angels Hospital in Los Angeles. And my father, he was kind of a stern kind of guy, and he didn't express many emotions except shut up, sit down, move down, He expressed some emotions. And he later on in his life, we became close. But at this point, my mother was dying in the hospital, and so each one of the kids got in to visit with her for 5 minutes. And it was my turn. And I said, Dad, why is Mom dying? And she said, he said, thankful to you, Brian, you broke her heart. And I felt like somebody stabbed me in the heart. And so I go in, and my mother and I had no secrets. Everything was open. I said, Mom, are you dying? And she said, who said I'm dying, sonny boy? And I said, Dr. McLaughlin, Dr. O'Brien, Dad, Kevin, Aiden, Brendan, Ethna, Maury. These are some of my siblings, some of my tribe. Anyway, they all say you're going to die. And I saw the fire in her eyes. And she said, by the grace of God, I'm the one who gets to decide when I'm going to die. And if the grace of God takes me to the other side, that'll be the way it is. But I don't think I'm going to die right now. In fact, I'm just making up. Her voice started getting really powerful. Do you know, she left that hospital and outlived my dad by 12 years. That's a true story. By grace we are saved. Finally, when she was dying, she had her tryout die, and then when she was really dying, she was such a little Catholic mystic. She used to say, Mom, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can live without you. She says, well, you know what you can do, Brandy boy? You know the little plastic Jesus you're always praying to every night? Yeah. I want you to throw it away. And just, when I die, I'll be in heaven. You pray to me, and it'll work just fine. Do you know what? When I pray, I see Jesus sometimes, I see Buddha sometimes, but I see Mom a lot. And she's going, she knows the answers. She always gives to me. Anybody got somebody on the other side don't it wonderful to get answers from them? They know, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, ease. That was about grace. Funny little story. A guy's feeling some grace, and he's got no relationship. He gets bummered out in all of his relationships, and he decides to go to a pet shop and get a pet, to buy a pet to see if he could have some company. And so goes in, pet store proprietor says, what would you like? He said, I'd like a pet, but I'm really lonely and someone to talk to and all this stuff. Oh, I got something for you. I got a parrot, an African Amazon gray parrot that is wonderful. It absolutely sings hymns even. No, yes, how much is it? $5,500. Well, that seems like a lot of money for a parrot. Let me show it to you. The parrot's on the perch sitting there, and on each leg is a long piece of string. And he says, I don't understand. What's the string for? He said, the proprietor said, pull the string on the left. He pulls it, and amazing grace, how sweet thou art. And the guy was just touched and moved. This is amazing. What happens if I pull the other string? Pulls the other string. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. And he's amazed. And he said, I gotta get this parrot. What happens? I'm just wondering, what happens if you pull both strings? The parrot says, I fall on my rear end, stupid. I fall on my rear end, stupid. Yeah. There are people in your life right now who are waiting to pull your strings. Absolutely. But when you come from grace, when you know everything they say has everything to do with what's going on with them and their lives, and if they believe you and they love you, something good's happening. If they don't have a lot of good stuff to say to you, they just got some work to do. Now I'm going to close with a little talk about ease. Feelings of ease come from accepting life and yourself as they are right now, and that's the highest truth, is the way things are right now. There's one in the Bible I love where Christ is talking, Jesus the Christ. He said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. He had days where he got really mad, beat up people. He had days where, talk about ecology, he wanted fruit off a tree, it didn't give fruit. He buzzes it and kills it right away. He said, I did all things as a man, and yet he was enlightened, but living in the human condition and totally divine, just like you. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. When you feel at ease, it is a clear sign that you are one with your spiritual purpose. When you feel at ease, you're one with your spiritual purpose. Benjamin Franklin put it this way: he that would live in peace and ease must not speak all he knows, nor judge all he sees. Everything in your life will be okay just as soon as you're okay with it being okay. If you're not okay with it being okay, it'll never be okay, because you're the one that makes it okay or not okay? Are you okay? Are you okay with that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And one more, I'm going to close quickly, but one more close from a friend of mine, Dr. Lee Gibson, who is a dear friend of Dr. Sheila and myself. He was a humanistic psychologist and wonderful seminar leader. He said, when you have a light, playful, easy attitude of aliveness is supported. All life on this planet deserves the support of your playfulness. Now, when you're on the way to the goal, if you're easy and graceful and passionate on your way to the goal, you're really enjoying yourself. If you're easy and light and playful when you get the goal, it's easy. So why not have life be easy all the time instead of more, bigger, better, rush on to the next one, rush on to the next one, rush on to the next one. I make the point, I got one more minute to go here and I'll make the point. There's a man who was struggling all of his life. He was CEO of a major Fortune 500 club. He just had all the things, but still his life felt empty and meaningless. And he decided to go see the guru that lived in the top of the mountain that people have told about, that this is the guru who actually gave all the other gurus lessons. This guy was the main guru in Guru Rights. So he starts treading up the mountain, and the climb was incredible, the rocks, and it took him 5 days to get up there. And he walks up, and the mystic is aglow. And the mystic says, how can I serve you? And he says, I just want to know something. I've been working hard all my life, got all the money, got all the trappings, but I'm not at ease. I don't feel a lot of purpose. I don't feel a lot of grace. I don't feel a lot of power. I don't feel a lot of passion. And the guru says, I have the answer. What's the answer? Well, the next time you come up to see me, take the tram on the other side of the mountain. Take it easy. Take it easy. The Eagles were right. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, great message.
Well, thank you. You want me to pull this out of the way
Yes, if
for
you
you?
don't mind.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you so much.
I'm a
And Joshua Taylor.
Got a friend. You got a friend.
Joshua, thank you. How fun. Thank you, thank you. Oh, it's the time of our service for our offering. I want to invite all of our ushers to come forward. It's the time we get to practice the principles that we teach and that we believe in. As we give, we receive. It's certainly not the reason to give, but it does help us to practice those spiritual principles where we can open up to receive, open those floodgates. I'm just knowing that we're absolutely blessed. Absolutely blessed by all that is to be given, knowing that each and every individual here gives from their heart, knowing that all that is received goes to do the works that Seaside does in the world, knowing that we have more than enough to do all of our ministries, to give back out into the world, to take care of our building and our people and do all that is required to make Seaside Center for Spiritual Living the magnificent place that it is. It's with great thanks that I just let it be. And so it is. And together, let's do our affirmation. Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Just giving absolute thanks for the blessings that have been poured down upon us, knowing that it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, knowing that we're absolutely blessed, that the divine flow moves in through and as Seaside easily and effortlessly. There's nothing to do but just to open up and receive, and so it is. Josh Franklin, one of the members of our Board of Trustees. Good to have you, Josh. Thank you for your service. Thank you to everyone who has serviced here at Seaside. We couldn't do it without all of you. Thank you so much. And thank you to Rebecca Jade, our beautiful artistic director. Yes, and Josh, thank you so much for being here. Our band, thank you to all our band members. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to our ushers and greeters and all those that make Sunday possible. Who's in the booth? We've got Ed Reeves in the booth. Thank you, Ed, for sound. Thank you, Mar, for visuals. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's working the cameras, everybody who's on live stream. Thank you to those people on our live stream and our Facebook that give and donate to Seaside. We're so glad that you're part of us. Thank you, Reverend Brian. So grateful to have you today. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see, in the family room today, we have Panache tickets, we have the Trailblazers with Make-A-Wish, we have Interfaith, a shelter, volunteer sign up, see what they need. Oh, we have cookies and muffins and coffee. Stay after and let us visit with you. Check out our bookstore. We're very glad that you're here. I want to see what our kids did today. Hi, guys. Look how many of you there is. Did you have fun? Who wants to talk? Who wants to tell me what you did? Anybody? You do? Okay, let's hear. What did you do?
I got my hand.
You made a hand. Oh, it's beautiful. What does it say on your hands? What did you write? It has pink on it. Pink's a great color. It's got the steps of prayer. Is it prayer? The 5 steps of prayer. Very good. Praying for the world is really good. We like that. Let's do the affirmation for our children together. We see you. We love you. We support you in your magnificence. So it is, absolutely. And speaking of prayer, I'd like to invite Reverend Brian up to do a closing prayer for us.
So let's just step within and take this moment and just breathe. The breath is the prana. It is the life force. As we breathe in easily and breathe out. And please say silently with me, in this moment, I accept myself as I am. In this moment, I allow the passion, the love for people, the love for life, whatever it is that flows through me that gives me joy and enthusiasm, I allow myself to let it flow. I find taking risks as a great adventure. As Helen Keller said, life is either a great adventure or it's nothing at all. Please say silently, my life is a great adventure. I'm taking action. I'm giving like I'll never run out of it. I'm loving like it all comes back double. I am good. I am God. And so is everybody else. I release these words, knowing it's already done. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Your Son only here for God. Yay! Yes, Seaside.
Okay, so the affirmation for the day is on the board. So let's say it together. I am pure and perfect spirit. Uno mas, together. I am pure and perfect spirit. Now, loud enough so the Baptists down the street can hear it, okay? I am pure and perfect spirit. All right.
And our song of praise.